Alright, what's going on, guys? It's the Boxing Genius here, and for today's video, we are going to discuss Pacquiao versus Ledwaba, which is a long time ago. You know, this was some would consider as the breakout fight for Pacquiao, because after this, you know, he was getting pretty much all the fights in the US, and he got the opportunity to train with Freddie Roach and all that shit. So let's get right into it. Now, the first one that I want to speak on is Ledwaba's habit of this will also serve as a tribute for Ledwaba, by the way, because he recently passed away. So by the time I made this video, it's already been a day after he passed away, and this is going to be sort of a tribute for him. Now, the first one is the left uppercut of Manny Pacquiao, which he used because as a result of Ledwaba's habit of bending at the waist. So as you can see there, when Pacquiao throws the jab, let me play it in slow motion so I won't have to pause it way too much. As he throws the right hook, but I should say, Ledwaba will go and he will bend at the waist. Boom. Right? And Pacquiao will take advantage of that by throwing the left uppercut in exchange, right? So he was throwing the right hook first, and then when he was seeing that Ledwaba was ducking down like that, he decided to throw them left uppercuts, and it just kept on landing. It kept on landing. I don't know why Ledwaba never figured it out, but he would set it up with the right hook to force Ledwaba to duck down, and then he would hit him with the left uppercut as Ledwaba bends at the waist. Now here's another example of that. He's gonna throw a right hook first again, setting it up, and forcing Ledwaba to bend out the waist here, putting him in the path for the left uppercut, and then as he throws that one, Ledwaba right there went down. Some would argue that Pacquiao also kind of pushed him to the side, but you know, that's still up for argument. Now, here's the next one. The next one that I want to speak on is the body shot counter of Ledwaba, a minor adjustment that he did in the later parts of the fight in round 2. Later parts. Okay, so over here is gonna go for the body shot counter as Pacquiao throws the left hand, and he will try to keep Pacquiao from overcommitting on that left hand because he's gonna get caught with the right hand to the body, to the left side of the body of Pacquiao, and then there he threw a jab. Here's another one. Pacquiao will again square up, and this is pretty much to keep Pacquiao from overcommitting with that left hand and overreaching with it, because that's one of his most powerful tools, you know, the ability to reach far. Even though his opponent's far away, he can throw that left hand and he can land it. And so Ledwaba decided to take that away by throwing the right hook counter on the stomach or on the kidney of Manny Pacquiao. Here's the next one. It's going to be a left hand counter by Pacquiao. Okay, so over here, he decided to stop exiting to the right too much, and then he's going to exit to the left. So again, I spoke about this in my Casemiro versus Rigondeaux prediction, so go ahead and look at that. I spoke about this in the Tagalog version. So look at this right here. Instead of exiting to the right and then putting himself in the path with that right hand of Ledwaba, what he's going to do is he's going to exit over to the left side and he's going to counter. So over here again, he steps back. Ledwaba overcommits with the right hand. Boom. Okay. And then Pacquiao will step back, throw a left hand to the stomach, and then counter Ledwaba right there. Here's the next example. Okay. Again, instead of exiting to the right side, he's going to exit to the left, over to the left, and then start with a jab. He's going to exit leftwards. He's going to start with the right jab as Ledwaba overcommits with the right hand. 1, 2, right uppercut right there. So what Ledwaba decided to do is he decided to circle to the left and try to avoid that left hand from Pacquiao. So we'll see how that works here. Now this video is basically to point out the mistakes when it comes to fighting the opposite stance and the mistakes of circling around and using angles and pivots against the opposite stance. So that's what I want to point out really here. So here's the first one. What you'll see with Ledwaba is that he is going to throw a right hand and then try to circle around Pacquiao leftwards, avoiding that left hand of Pacquiao. But the problem here is that after he throws this one, you should be able to slip inside and then pivot away. But instead of doing that, what he decides to do is, instead of slipping here, staying in this position and then pivoting out before putting himself back in his normal stance, he goes back to his normal stance as he pivots. So as you can see here, he's back to the center. and then Pacquiao decides to take advantage of that, and then over there he's back to that original position of bending at the waist, which is not the way to go, because bending at the waist essentially puts him closer to the left hand of Pacquiao. Boom. Okay, and then back to what I was saying a while ago, the left hand or the left uppercut of Pacquiao kept on landing in the later stages, and then it kept on landing once again. So one mistake that the opposite stance can make when circling to the left is that after you slip right here, you should stay in this position. You should not put it back to where it came from. But what did Ledwaba do over here? Well, this is the correct way, by the way. Let's look at the wrong way. So over here he's gonna, again, circle to the left and then slip inside. Okay, he's gonna slip inside, stay away from the left hand of Pacquiao. Boom. Okay, but what's the problem? The problem is that after he goes into that inside slip and avoids the left hand of Pacquiao, he's gonna come back to that original position, and then he's gonna bend at the waist once again. So I'll draw an arrow right here just so that you can see. Bends at the waist, inside slip, no problem there. What's the problem? As he pivots, he goes back to this original position of bending at the waist, and then Pacquiao takes advantage of that. And then over there, as he circles once again, he's gonna come back to that, to bending at the waist again, and then Pacquiao decides to just turn, and that's the problem. So in the end, what's gonna happen is that as Ledwaba kept on doing this, again, he's gonna circle here. Now, after you circle right there, what you should do, okay, is that you should only come back to your original position after you pivot. So after you pivot, you should only come back to the center. But watch what he does here. As he pivots around Manny Pacquiao, he is going to put himself back in that original bladed position where he's dangerous, because the left hand of Pacquiao is much closer when you have the bladed stance against him. Okay, and then he's gonna circle around again here, circle around, circle to the left, and then that's a minor mistake. Now let's look at how that affected him and how that eventually led to his knockdown. So here's the first knockdown here. That's the first one. Okay, so he went down. Let's move forward to the final punch, which eventually ended the fight. So here again, he's going to try to circle around to the left, avoiding that power shot. But what's the problem? Once you slip and then you pivot, you should stay in this position. You should not go back to your bladed stance. But watch what he does here. After he turns, he's going to slip inside. You should stay in that position. Stay in that position. Stay in that position where you're eventually leaning more on your left side. Okay, so let's look at what happened here. What's going to happen is he's going to circle around the left of Manny Pacquiao. Okay, he's going to circle into the left, boom, 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 circle, and then here he circles again, and then he dips over to the left side, which is not a bad thing. But what's the problem? As he pivots again, he's going to come back to that bladed stance. He's going to bend at the waist. Okay, so this is the wrong thing, because essentially you are moving to the left, you're avoiding that power shot. But again, as you go back up and after you pivot, you're going to go back to your bladed stance. It's meaningless. It's pretty much nonsense. And so what I want to talk about here is that if you are going to slip inside and if you are going to circle to the left, make sure that your head stays there until you are set. Over here, you're going to see an example of someone who pivots to the left side, and then before they can even set their feet, they go back to their original bladed stance. And against a southpaw, that is really dangerous because it puts them closer to your left hand. So over here, the face of Ledwaba is really close to the left hand of Pacquiao, and then as Pacquiao throws that left hand, it grazes the nose of Ledwaba, and that is pretty much it. That was the end of the fight right there, folks. So subscribe to the channel if you're new, guys. I haven't been uploading a lot lately because I am doing a lot of studying the tape. I'm studying the tape a whole lot, and I'm trying to just try to shoot and film all my videos in one day, and then I'll just upload it via schedule. I'll also plan on doing more live streams, so I've been thinking about like multiple topics that I can talk about. So if you have any ideas down below on what I can talk about in my live streams and all that shit, go ahead and drop them down below. And that was it. Join my Patreon if you're new. Subscribe if you're new. Like, comment, subscribe. This is a really good platform for me to express and to share with you the sweet science. And yeah, Ledwaba, rest in peace, man. Condolence, you know what I'm saying? I have a lot of future content coming up, so definitely turn on that notification bell. I also have some upcoming live streams. So yeah, that was it for this video. I'll see you guys soon. Ledwaba, what a great fighter he is. He's pretty much the he was the breakout fight for Manny Pacquiao, so we have a lot of respect for him, especially in the Philippines. So it's a sad news that he already passed away. But anyway, that was it. Pacquiao versus Spence coming up. Hopefully you guys are excited as well. I'm very excited too. I may go live one day. I'll see you guys soon. Peace, man.